Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Traffic was brought to a stop in downtown Elmira today due to a dump truck crushing a car. Police reported to the crash at the intersection of Clemens Center Parkway and Water Street around noon. The dump truck, which was holding dirt or gravel, tipped onto its side, crushing the car. A witness spoke to Big Fox News about what they saw.
I was in the left lane. The dump truck was in the right lane just ahead of me. The light was just turned red. The dump truck took a right-hand turn. Cars had to beep at him because he was cutting them off. And I saw the dump body come up off of the frame, and I knew it was going to tip over, and it did.
The status of the drivers and passengers is unknown at this time. Big Fox will keep you updated on any new information. One man is dead and 4 others hospitalized after a carbon monoxide poisoning in Southport. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg tells us what may have caused this poisoning.
A condemned home in Southport was the site of a deadly incident on Tuesday night. 5 people were sent to Arnott Ogden Medical Center to treat carbon monoxide poisoning, including the homeowner, Richard Kaiser, who would succumb to his injuries later that night. The Southport Fire Department recorded extremely high levels of carbon monoxide within the residence. The home at 1216 Charles Street was condemned by the Town of Southport Code Enforcement Office in July of 2022. It is believed that Kaiser continued to stay at the residence illegally. A garage fire at the residence on January 6, 2023 led to the Code Enforcement Office cutting gas and electricity to the property. A gas-powered generator that was providing electricity to the home was later found in the bathroom by first responders. That generator may have produced the carbon monoxide that led to the death of Kaiser and the poisoning of 4 others.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas that can be lethal in high doses within a residence. Which is another thing, by the way. You should never use your gas stove to heat your house.
Carbon monoxide detectors can alert you to the presence of the deadly gas. Checking the batteries on your detectors may just save your life. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Southport.
This tragic situation in Southport brings to light the dangers of using a generator improperly. Our Maggie Hall today spoke with an expert to bring you more information about how to keep you and your family safe when using a generator.
Step 1, and possibly the most important step about using a generator, is to set it up outside. Your generator should be set up outside at least 20 feet away from your home in a dry area. So on a rainy day like today, you shouldn't be using a generator. The exhaust from generators contains carbon monoxide gas. Make sure that the exhaust is pointing away from your home.
But you want to make sure that you are aware of carbon monoxide poisoning and have a carbon monoxide detector in your house. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas, and you won't know it's there unless you have a CO detector to monitor that in your home.
Do not put the generator near any doors or windows. If a carbon monoxide alarm sounds while you're using your generator, do not attempt to turn off the generator. Evacuate your home immediately and call 911. The generator's wattage should always be higher than the total wattage of appliances you're connecting it to. Before plugging in any appliances, check the appliance wattage against the wattage of your generator. Be sure to read the owner's manual before operating your generator and stay safe. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
We want to clarify a story now that we've been following about the recent developments in the Elmira Police Department. In Tuesday night's City Council meeting, it was reported that Chris Thorne was appointed interim police chief. But now, after a vote to table that appointment, City Council will vote for Thorne's appointment in the next council meeting, which is on January 30th. The Bradford County District Attorney's Office has announced the retirement of DA Albert Andre. Andre has served the county for the last 21 years. He previously served as Assistant District Attorney. Andre was appointed DA in June 2021 and re-elected in November of 2021. According to his office, he's been practicing law for 40 years. Corning Inc. is cutting over 1,000 jobs as part of, quote, adjustments to the macroeconomic environment. The company will be dismissing around 1,500 people from their job which is roughly 2.5% of their workforce. A statement from Corning says they're committed to treating Impact employees with dignity and respect. Alec Baldwin will face criminal charges over the fatal on-set shooting of the movie's cinematographer, Halyna Hutchins. The incident happened on the New Mexico set of the Western movie Rust in October of 2021. Under New Mexico law, involuntary manslaughter is a fourth-degree felony and is punishable by up to 18 months in jail. Sports bets in New York can now be placed online, and according to officials, it seems to be a very profitable business. Teresa Priolo has more.
To see us do these record numbers that first month, right out of the gate in January last year, we do like $2 billion in handle that first month.
Record-breaking and surpassing even the most confident of expectations, mobile sports betting has proven to be big, bankable business here in New York.
Early projections were $500 million for the year. We're at $900 million after that first year.
New York vaulted past the $15 billion mark in wagers in early December. Through the end of 2022, the state collected $709 million in taxes and $200 million in licensing fees.
These numbers are staggering.
Mike Mazzio is a reporter with the Legal Sports Bet.
That money went elsewhere, went out of the state, right? It went to the offshore sports books or it went to Jersey.
But now it's staying in New York. 98% of it, or roughly $880 million, will fund education.
And that's not including what we also gave to youth sports, which is about $5 million extra. And then the one part I really like is the $6 million extra for addiction programs.
There had been deep concern legalizing mobile betting would make it easier for those addicted to exercise their vice.
New Yorkers, they were going to Jersey or doing it illegally or going to Pennsylvania. We couldn't help them because we didn't know who they were. Once you regulate it in New York, now we can monitor accounts. We can see someone who's on their way to getting an addiction.
It's a safe bet that online gambling will only continue in New York State and might expand during this budget cycle. To those who like the additional cash flow but have concerns about the hobby itself, Adabo says,
either the increase of educational funds, the jobs, the revenue for the state, the fact that we're helping individuals who have an addiction, somehow, some way, you're going to benefit even if you never place a bet.
Teresa Priolo, Fox 5 News.
Some tech experts say the layoffs in the industry are more about correction after rapid growth and not so much about the economy. We take a look at the numbers, plus we have your complete forecast coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. We've been under a pretty active weather pattern, and there's not much change to that pattern here in the near future. Now, we were underneath a small freezing rain threat early this morning. That has diminished, and we stayed under some heavier showers, even some accumulation numbers coming in over a half an inch. Now, we'll stay underneath some of those rain showers through the overnight, as note that temperatures are going to be mild enough to keep us mostly rain. Now, there is a switching wind from the south to the west coming through the overnight, and that is going to start to bring in some cold air advection. Now, we do see that temperature-wise, we hover into those mid-30s to lower 40s, though, through much of our Friday. So we should keep mostly rainfall locally. However, the farther off to the north, the west, and the east that you travel, especially more of those elevated areas, some snowfall accumulation is going to be possible as temperatures will be a bit cooler. Now, accumulation-wise, it is looking to be pretty minimal as we head into our Friday, but we'll still keep the chances for some slick roadways. Now, we'll get a quick break on Saturday, but then another system comes on Sunday. This will be a coastal low pressure system, and that's going to bring us another chance for some mixed precipitation, as wind is going to be a big factor, especially this time of the year where those temperatures hover just around that freezing mark. The wind will really dictate where those temperatures are and what type of precipitation we'll be receiving. Now, as we look at the wind forecast, as mentioned, we've been talking about that switching wind. We'll have more of a westerly and then turning northwesterly wind into Saturday, which Saturday will be our cool cooler day, which is more seasonal for this time of the year, but quieter day. Then we get ahead of that low pressure system on that coastal low, which will give us a quick little return to some southerly winds, but they're strong winds, which will quickly switch back to that northwesterly component and give us another chance for some snow showers into Monday. So we're gonna have this back and forth. Now we note that we have some switching concerns, so you'll see that some of these rain showers do show off some of that blue potential, especially for areas through the Finger Lakes and those higher elevations, snow showers possible. Local Elmira Corning area, mostly rainfall of a potential there, but there might be cool enough air by the late evening hours where a few flakes may be able to persist. So as we look at accumulation numbers as for precipitation, keep an eye on this local area. Elmira up through Bath, about 1/4 of an inch to maybe 4/10 of an inch possible. Where you're seeing some of those 4/10 of an inch though, note that that is equating to some of the snow equivalents, where those numbers are a little bit higher, as that's where the potential for more snowfall is in place, as upwards of 1/2 inch to an inch may even be possible with those snow showers. So again, farther off to the north, those elevated surfaces, you're definitely going to see a little bit of some snowfall. It's not going to hang around very long, but we'll have some evidence of it there. So as we do stay a little bit more mild into those 40s on Friday, that cold air advection takes over though through Friday night into Saturday, which will keep us into those 30s on Saturday, and then we'll be keeping an eye on that next system to come Sunday into Monday, with that then next system coming next week on Wednesday.
The chief at United Airlines has a warning for travelers. Nearly half of all Americans are hit with monthly banking costs, and Nike is closing its downtown Seattle store amid a crime wave. CJ Papa has more in today's Business Briefs.
The CEO of United Airlines is warning travelers to expect even more flight disruptions moving forward. During a fourth quarter earnings call, Scott Kirby told investors, quote, "The system simply can't handle the volume today, much less the anticipated growth. There are a number of airlines who cannot fly their schedules. The customers are paying the price." This comes as United faces multiple challenges, with San Francisco pilots staging a protest Wednesday as they fight for a pay hike. Bankrate says more than 1 in 4 checking account holders, or roughly 57 million adults, are getting hit with costs such as routine service charges, ATM fees, and overdraft fees. The average total cost of an out-of-network ATM withdrawal is $4.66, a 3-year high. Nearly half of Americans say they are sacrificing their level of recession preparedness by paying these banking fees. A Seattle Nike store is shuttering its doors amid a sharp spike in violent crime and a homelessness crisis. A sign in the window at the store reads, "We look forward to serving you at Nike.com." The store has been a downtown staple since it opened in 1996. And maybe this will help you get your work done faster. Porsche is selling a limited edition office and gaming chair inspired by its cars. In tribute to the brand's most iconic model, only 911 will be sold for a very Porsche-like $2,500 each. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
More and more tech companies are laying off workers. Jana Katsuyama spoke with a tech expert about what's leading to the layoffs and what workers can do to pivot.
The string of tech industry layoffs continued Wednesday. Microsoft announced it plans to cut 5% of its workforce, laying off about 10,000 workers. Like many other tech companies, Microsoft had a hiring boom during the pandemic, expanding its workforce by 36%.
It was only a matter of time. It's just that this is a shakeout which is happening at this point in time.
Professor Shoykat Chaudhry is director of the UC Haas Management, Entrepreneurship, and Technology program. He says what's happening in the tech sector has less to do with global economics and more to do with a correction after rapid growth.
It was growing at rates which are unsustainable now. Think about how many people they've hired over the last 3 years. Some companies as much as 30% of their workforce, which has joined.
Along with Microsoft cutting 10,000 positions, Amazon began notifying some 18,000 employees about cutbacks in the U.S., Canada, and Costa Rica locations. Twitter reportedly plans to lay off 50 more workers, according to the site Insider. Chaudhry says there are some differences for tech workers compared to the past .com bust.
Software and deployment of other technologies like that are what are pervading every single industry. So yes, these are very much, you're very much able to transfer those skills to other areas.
I know a few people who have been impacted, but I think that overall, I'm not too worried because tech will always be needed.
Many workers are turning to social networks to help find new work.
The way I job search and the people that I know job search is maybe looking for options on LinkedIn and talking to people there, or like going to conferences.
Chaudhry says there also are opportunities for startups to still get money because venture capital funding remains strong. But he says people looking to pivot should know there is a difference in the pitch.
You'll have to have a business model which is a little bit more conservative or safe, which allows you to show a path towards profitability a little bit sooner because they can't deal with uncertainty. That's the challenge.
Still ahead, a California company is using fallen trees to create furniture. How they're giving old trees new life, coming up. Manatees are often referred to as sea cows because of their gentle nature. But these innocent and adorable marine animals continue to face a host of environmental and man-made problems. The issues have gotten so bad, wildlife crews say the manatee population in Florida is dramatically dropping. Ashley Strohmeyer reports.
Florida manatees are large marine mammals living along the coast of the Sunshine State. But these gentle giants are dying off in extremely high numbers. Wildlife officials estimate Florida's manatee population sits between 6,000 to 7,000. But researchers at Clearwater Marine Aquarium say roughly 1,000 of them died last year alone. A decline in seagrass, the manatee's main food source, is mostly to blame.
They have been starving and dying as a consequence of that starvation, but also other health concerns that are associated with malnutrition.
Fertilizer runoffs and damage from boat anchors are causing the seagrass to die. Teams from the group Sea and Shoreline have been busy trying to regrow it along Florida's western coast.
It's been so successful that the 80 acres of grass that we've planted has actually expanded to over 250 acres.
But manatees face additional threats from water contamination and boaters.
We have these red tide events that occur periodically. And it's a toxic algae, and manatees can actually succumb to this. You can pick up manatees that have been hit or sliced by propellers.
Meanwhile, the drop in manatees is garnering political attention. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis recently issued an executive order proposing more than $3 billion over 4 years to protect the Florida Everglades and other aquatic environments where manatees live. In New York, Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
A homeowner in California is making use of a tree that came down in her yard during the recent storms. Instead of just throwing it out, she's using the help of a company that repurposes wood and turns it into furniture. Christina Rendon has more.
Work is being done to cut up and piece out a massive bay tree in San Leandro. It came down during the New Year's Eve storm on Christina Walker's property.
Our neighbor back here was calling me saying, "Are you alive? The bay tree fell." And I was like, the bay tree didn't fall. It lost a limb or something like that.
But the 100-year-old tree did fall, crushing a shed, a trampoline, and damaging her children's backyard playground. She didn't want the tree to go to waste, so she hired Nick Harvey, who makes a living recycling trees.
Every single piece of the tree is going to be reused here. The best case scenario is that we can turn these trees into wood, because otherwise they get chipped up and end up in a green waste facility or a dump.
What are you going to get out of it?
Hopefully tables. We have some friends that are making ballpoint pens out of a bunch of the smaller pieces, and mulch, so much mulch.
Harvey is working with A+ Tree to take down the branches so he can bring in milling equipment and repurpose the wood. About 4 years ago, Harvey decided to turn this into a business. Bay Area Redwood is based in San Ramon. They take trunks like this and turn it into pieces of furniture that anyone can buy. He's got tables, benches, and standing desks made from repurposed wood at his showroom at City Center Bishop Ranch.
I saw trees being thrown away by my house, and I just thought it was crazy.
Walker is saving money on the removal and disposal costs since the wood is never leaving her property. She's glad to give the old tree new life.
Super, super grateful to be alive. If it had fallen any other direction, it would have killed someone.
In San Leandro, Christina Rendon, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. Cheese lovers, you have the opportunity to get paid. The Sleep Junkie Company is looking for dedicated cheese fans who are willing to eat a variety of dairy products before they go to sleep. The goal here is to see if cheese affects the quality of sleep or even nightmares. The group who will be called Dairy Dreamers, will earn $1,000. Participants will have to keep up with a nightly cheese snack every day for 3 months. So, if you're fond of sleep, money, and cheese, applications close on February 10th. Not a bad gig. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.